Okie dokie. Manic Pixie Dream Girls is an archetype you might have seen getting thrown around. The eccentric, quirky heroine that doesn't follow the rules, who swoops in to teach protagonists how to live life to the fullest. You know, she's not like other girls, she's got all her together, no personal flaws at all. It's been criticised quite a bit for resulting in characters that are pretty shallow. No past, no problems, no purpose. An empty character only there to support the hero of the story. That is not Ramona Flowers. When I was first introduced to this term, the girl that was always front and center was Ramona. You take one look at the dyed hair and you're like, oh yeah, of course, 100% MPDG. I had never seen Scott Pilgrim, so all I could do was trust what everyone else was telling me. Nobody on the internet would lie to me, would they? That is until Scott Pilgrim Takes Off got announced, which led me to finally picking up both the movie and the anime. And wow, Ramona Flowers is not who I thought she was. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a story about Scott Pilgrim. He's an unemployed bum sponging off his cool gay roommate, his only ambition being the band he plays for called Bomb, while also making time to babysit his girlfriend Knives. Life is pretty normal in Toronto, Canada, as he spends another night drinking at a party. That is until he catches sight of some pink hair mixed within the crowd, standing against a wall all by herself. You can kinda see why the label of Manic Pixie Dream Girl initially got slapped on. Before this, our first introduction of Ramona literally has her appearing to Scott in a vision. We've already crossed off one half of the archetype, the dream and the girl. She dyes her hair a different colour every week and a half, and she's definitely no stickler for the rules. You kind of expect her to tick off every other trait, the girl that will solve all of Scott's problems. But that quickly fades away upon the introduction of the League of Evil Exes. Surprise! Ramona Flowers came to Toronto to get away from her past, 7 evil exes that you'll have to fight through if you wish to go out with her. Wow, she's definitely an MPDG. She literally has a bunch of guys, and girl, chasing after her, wishing to rekindle that magical fantasy romance. But Manic Pixie Dream Girls are supposed to be flawless, right? They're constantly bubbly, full of energy, great taste in music. She's the perfect girl. Ramona Flowers is deadpan and almost guarded, skating away from a past of stringing along X after X with no regard to their feelings. The exes that Scott now has to fight to earn the right to become Ramona's boyfriend. Instead of Ramona swooping in to solve all of Scott's problems, it's more like Scott himself is solving Ramona's problems, punching them away until they're nothing but coins. In fact, I would argue Scott has more traits in line of being a Manic Pixie Dream boy. He's kind of bubbly at the beginning, he's in a band so obviously great music taste, has all these fun quirks like knowing obscure nerd trivia and being great with children, and he's not like the other exes, he's different. Ramona is the jaded protagonist, and Scott came to show her a whole new world. They flipped the genders, deconstructed the archetype. Oh my god, so subversive! Which isn't quite correct either, because as I said before, Scott has numerous personal problems, like how he's still hung up on his celebrity ex Envy, or that he's dating a high school at 23, who he hasn't broken up with before getting with Ramona. We can even see his bubbliness fade away as he lashes out after one too many fights to the death. There isn't any manic pixie dreaming anywhere, just two pretty horrible people that have no regard for the pain they cause. Ramona abandoning her exes and Scott cheating on Knives. There's like zero chemistry between these two besides the both of them wanting something new and different. Which is why Scott doesn't defeat Gideon with the power of love, he defeats him with the power of self-respect. He finally owns up to how much of a scumbag he is, completing his character growth and, I guess, also getting the girl. So where is Ramona's character growth? Manic Pixie Dream Girls have no agency. The role they serve in the story is to turn the sad boy's life upside down, make him realize the true meaning of being alive and whatever. When you look at just the movie, Ramona doesn't really change all that much. She doesn't have a real goal besides running away from her problems, which she never really confronts at all. Like, why does Scott have to be the one that deals with Ramona's exes? When you enter into a new relationship, you can't be expecting your partner to be the one that fixes all your emotional baggage. Sure, they can help you out, but the movie has Scott Pilgrim be the one that does most of the fighting. The only time Ramona comes in is when they're against Roxy and Gideon, and that's very minimal to say the least. It leaves her feeling a bit one note, like she's just a prize to be won after defeating the final boss, the princess who's in another castle, the common problem you see with many other Manic Pixie Dream Girls. In comes Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. The anime lives up to its title by having Scott literally take off and fake dying for most of the series. The important word being fake, because Ramona discovers that he's actually still alive and missing, turning into an adventure where she has to find Scott, where she finally becomes the one to confront each of her 7 exes. And the difference it makes to her character is amazing. Ramona is no longer purely deadpan, she smiles, makes silly faces, blushes when thinking about Scott. The first date feels completely different. They have more chemistry in episode 1 than they ever did in the entire movie. It actually makes sense why Ramona fell for the adorable Scott and why Scott fell for the mysterious Ramona. She feels less like a caricature and more like a real person. She actually gets fleshed out. In fact, everyone gets fleshed out. From the League of Evil Exes to Bomb, Julie, Knives, Wallace, that one hot coworker that appears for 5 minutes. Maybe not that last one. I just wanted to bring her up because her character design is to die for. I think my favourite scene is still that first confrontation, where Roxy attacks Ramona and they start travelling from movie to movie as they battle it out. While this is an absolutely spectacular set piece to watch, I'm still thinking about that one conversation in the airplane. How Roxy reveals how she felt when Ramona left without a word, how Ramona actually apologizes for running away, how we come to see that she was just afraid, maybe because of her fear of commitment, maybe because she was unsure about her sexuality. Either way, she finally decides to take off the skates, to stand in front of her past, to confront her ex, just like Scott did all those years ago. Ramona's personal journey in anime shows us what she's like outside of her relationship with the main character. She bonds with everyone she comes across. She provides closure to all the people she hurt in the past. She even finds a new passion, randomly becoming Envy's stunt double during the filming of a young Neil's script based on the original movie, where she ends up falling in love with being a stunt performer. That's such a cool detail. She's no longer running away from her past, but running towards what she wants, whether it be finding Scott Pilgrim or another goal that she stumbles upon along the way. I know people got angry when they realized the anime wasn't going to be a faithful adaptation. I haven't read it myself, so for all I know, the manga is indeed better. The only thing I do know is that the movie doesn't give Ramona the character growth she desperately needed, which is probably why the writer of the comics, Bryan Lee O'Malley, decided to use this show to revisit her character. Both Bryan and Ramona are getting a second chance to fix the mistakes of the past, to put the final puzzle piece that separates Ramona Flowers from all the other Manic Pixie Dream Girls. And thanks for watching. Again, I have not read the comics, so if I'm wrong about anything in that last section, feel free to skewer me alive in the comments. Actually, there's a chance I'll ignore you down there, so you should join my Discord in the description so you can directly tell me how stupid I am, and then join my Patreon so I can get brain surgery to fix my dumb doo-doo head. I definitely have Scott Pilgrim in my plan to read, so I will get to it eventually. Either way, I'm just happy that the movie and anime do exist, or else I may not have been introduced to such a fun and heartfelt world. If you're still here, I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more videos, check out my Discord and Patreon in the description below. Please join my Discord, I am so lonely. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.